frustration until I woke up and checked the clock to discover I had slept a solid 10 hours. Wow, it worked. I rolled over in joy to meet my boyfriend good morning and made a grave discovery. I had put the pillow over the wrong head. Okay guys, when I read that story, I was so shocked by that plot twist, and I loved that story. It was so creepy, and it was just beautifully written. The next story is called I Make Houses Cheaper. Houses are so expensive these days, and the generation of today cannot afford it, and are forced to live in flats. I remember how easy it used to be to buy a house, and one day to eventually own it. This is the generation of rent. Well, I am sick of it, and I have successfully made 9 houses exceptionally cheaper for someone from generation rent to buy on a mortgage and to eventually own. Let me give you an example of what I did by using my own house. The price listing on my house is literally $500,000, but after I murdered my whole family, it reduced the house price significantly to below $100,000. My house will never be the same, but someone from today's generation will have a chance to buy it now. This is what I did to make the other 9 houses cheaper. I'm doing this for the young generation of today who are stuck in small, noisy, tight, and unaccommodating flats. No need to thank me. Okay guys, that is the end of that story, and that story honestly gave me the chills because I was not expecting that. Like, what? Killing your whole family? I can't. Next story is called I Judge People Not by What's on the Outside, but What's on the Inside. You know, people who judge others by what's on the outside are just backwards. It's surprising how in the 21st century, people still get judged by what's on the outer appearance on the individual. It's the inside that counts. I mean, this person who I have gotten to know so well because his liver is in good condition, his heart is in good condition, and the rest of his organs are in good condition. This tells me that he has lived a good, intelligent, and healthy lifestyle, even though he grew in a poor and still lived in an area where most people kill themselves through drugs and alcohol. I can sell his organs for so much money. I never judge people on the outside, as it's bad for business. And that is the end to that spooky story. Now that one honestly freaks me out because I don't know if you guys know this, but the selling of organs, you can make so much money from that, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's so wrong that we can get so much money from that, and that's why I feel like, unfortunately, so many people go missing and kidnapped, or people do stuff to them just to get money from that person's body, which is so sad, and honestly, just reality. So that story really freaked me out. The next story is called I Should Have Read the Reviews. My girlfriend moved out 3 weeks ago. My cat Rook was really close to her, and now that she's gone, I can tell he's a bit lonely, especially when I'm at work. I come home a few times to my curtains ripped up, or all the toilet paper in shreds. The last straw was when I came home after working late to find he had clawed a hole the size of a dinner plate into the side of the sofa. I decided I had to do something. I tried different toys, even catnip, but nothing worked. first dozen reviews were pretty standard, but it was the last that caused me to bolt upright. The customer complained that the camera was on a time delay, sometimes as much as 15 minutes. I went back to the video and pressed play with shaky fingers. I watched in horror as the man slithered under my bed, giving the camera a wink before disappearing into the darkness. Then I saw myself enter the room and climb in bed before the video ended. Now I'm sitting in the bed, knowing he's under it. I could call the police, but I doubt I'd have time. So please do yourself a favor and read the reviews. That is the end of that story. Now that story I feel like freaks me out 10 times more because I actually, I don't have a back camera, but I have a camera as like my doorbell, and it's called Ring. I'm not sure if you know what it is, but it's basically like a doorbell, but it has a little camera where you can see who's at your door. And I cannot even imagine getting a notification and just seeing it's some creepy person. It freaks me out. I would have no idea what to do, so I would not want to be in his position. Alrighty guys, this next one is called, what is the creepiest or downright most horrifying thing to happen to you? First and foremost, I am a medium, so I have a lot of experiences that I can post here, but I am going to start with this. When I was like 15 or 16, I was laying on a mattress in my room. I had no head box or anything, it was just a mattress and box spring on the floor. I began with me going downstairs to get a drink of water. It wasn't very late, maybe around 11. I wasn't on edge in any way. I didn't think to myself, oh, the atmosphere downstairs feels very eerie right now. There wasn't any suspenseful music playing in the background like in paranormal films. I got a glass of water just fine. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, and I was going on my merry way upstairs to get to bed. I'd like to add here that the reason I'm making this sound so dramatic and drawing out the story is for the sheer fact of how uncomfortable and unsafe this experience made me feel. Bringing it up again makes my skin crawl. As I was on the second or third step, headed to my room, I heard the most horrifying noise I think I've ever heard. A disembodied young girl laughed in my ear, directly behind me, close enough that I could feel her breath on my neck as she laughed. I did not turn around to face her, and I do not regret that decision. I walked as quickly as I could without running up the rest of the stairs to my room. I hadn't had anything else close to that visceral and intense happen to me since then, and I hope I never will again. I can tell you honestly that when I had made it safely to my room and had gotten in my bed, I was concerned for my safety. The way that little girl's spirit had laughed was not joyful or playful. She sounded evil, like she deliberately did that to scare me. I hope nothing like that happens to any of you. Okay guys, that is the end of that story, and that story really freaks me out because it just brings me back to that story I have told you guys in a previous video of the experience that happened to me where I heard someone like say my name and it sounded so close yet so far. So I definitely feel like the laugh would have definitely been 10 times creepier. The last story is gonna be from a subscriber of mine, which I am so grateful for. This is actually the first email that I have gotten of a subscriber's spooky story. So I was just so happy when I got it. So this subscriber went ahead and sent me this story right here and titled it Scary True Story. This is my first time submitting a story, so bear with me. Winter holiday just started, so my father recommended a job. It was just a house sit for one of his colleagues, so I said sure. He lived in this nice house with a massive office area. He had a CCTV setup that I had to watch, so I decided to plug in my PS4 to one of the other monitors and just switch through the cameras. On the other monitor, I made sure I locked all the doors, including the room that I was in. An hour or so went by and I decided to check the monitor. I saw that one of the cabinets were open in the kitchen. I know I hadn't opened them, so I called the guy I was house sitting for and asked if anyone had a spare key or was supposed to be in the house other than me. He said no. I checked all the cameras to see if anyone was in the house. I saw a guy underneath the stairs, crouching behind a plant. I immediately called the cops, and they told me to stay in the room until they arrived. When they arrived, I told the dispatcher where the guy was. I was watching him the entire time. When they came in, he wasn't there. It was like he just disappeared. They found no signs of forced entry or anything on the footage. I didn't know what happened that day, but I know what I saw. Alright guys, that story is definitely super scary, and I definitely believe you. And I have read stories of people seeing things on cameras, and when If you have any spooky